Hi, tonight I'm going to make a really super awesome quiche. It's going to be made with one of my favorite things, Latino kale. Kale yeah! The really great thing about this quiche is it's made with brown rice, and it's leftover brown rice. Isn't that awesome? As the crust. Whoa, yeah. But it doesn't taste ricey, which is really fantastic. And then I have a little bit of cheese in there to hold it together, and one more binder, 2 organic cage-free pasture-raised eggs. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm gonna make the crust. Like I said, there's brown rice in there. There's 2 cage-free pasture-raised eggs. Yay, happy chickens. And then I also have a 1/4 cup of cheese. Now I chose spicy cheese today because it's a little cold outside, so I needed warming chilies. Okay, because I was really cold. So anyway, so what I'm going to do is in my bowl, I'm going to put 2 cups of rice. Like I said, this is my leftover rice that I have. This is a brown rice, wild rice mixture. So I just put 2 cups in there. And then to that, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of cheese. Now this cheese, you can grate your cheese if you want. I didn't feel like grating it. I just chopped it up like really nice and small. So you can do that. And then what I'm doing is I'm just putting my 2 eggs in here. 1, 2, oh yum. And then just a little bit of salt. I have some really super yummy truffle sea salt from Croatia. So I'm going to put that in there. And then I'm just going to stir this all up. And you can see it looks really super yummy actually already. So while, before I did this actually, I preheated my oven to 450 degrees. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil and I'm going to put it in my pie plate. And you just kind of drizzle it a little bit around. You want to make sure that you have enough oil to kind of coat the bottom of the plate. So you're going to go like this. And then what you're going to do is you get to use your hands and you get to pat it all down. So what I like to do is I put it all in there, in that nice lovely crust. And then I pat it all down. And you can see here, I'm going to pat it. Now you kind of want to get it up towards the ends here. So we want to go like this and do it kind of quickly. If you do it quickly, that way it won't stick to your fingers. Now, if you have a problem with it sticking to your fingers, a really easy trick is this. Just put a little bit of water in that same bowl and voila. So that just makes it so much easier. So you want to make sure that all the sides, it's filled up as high as it can go on all the sides. And you also want to make sure that your oven is truly preheated to 450 degrees. Now here we go. This looks absolutely lovely. Yay. And, oh, that's going to be a nice little quiche crust. So kind of just pat the sides there, and you want it to look pretty too, because, you know, just because it's not gluten doesn't mean it should be ugly. So here you go. And I'm going to put this in my oven for 7 minutes. So now, look at this guy. Isn't he cute? Hell yeah. I am actually just going to take the inside of this kale because it's a little bit more tough. So I want to just take this apart like so. You can see right here, I'm just taking him out. And I'm going to be left with my leaf, which has... Ooh. So here's what's this part, and here's the other part. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to saute this up with some onion and a little bit of sea salt and olive oil, and I'll be back. So I want to show you something. Like, this looks like a lot of kale, right? Latino kale, like, isn't that cool? Like, don't you think of dinosaurs going boom, boom, boom? Yeah, the Brontosaurus, he must have been loving the Latino kale. I love it, and I'm not a Brontosaurus, but anyway. It's going to shrink down, so don't worry about it. It looks like you have a large amount. And ultimately, you will not have this much, so don't worry about it. Like, you'll have just a little bit. It will be perfect for your quiche. So while I'm waiting for my onions to finish, and by the way, you want them clear. It's translucent. You don't want any color on your onions. So if your onions start getting colored, turn down the heat and take them off the heat. We're going to put 4 eggs into a bowl. Now these are the same cage-free happy eggs that I use in my crust. So you're going to put 4 eggs in here. And then you're also going to use a half of a cup of milk. Now, I have a half a cup of milk here, so we're going to pour that in there. And then I have a little bit of salt, so I'm going to put that in there. And that's going to sit for just a minute. I'm going to whisk it up with a fork, actually, because I don't own a whisk. Well, I lie, I do own a whisk, but I'm not going to clean it. It's a pain in the ass. So I'm going to just whisk this up, just like this. And there we go. It's nice and ready. So you can see here my onions are starting to get a little bit translucent. I just want them to go for a little bit more. And then I'm going to add my lacto kale. So my onions are ready to go. So I'm just going to add my delicious lacto kale. Can you tell I just love saying that? Like I feel like a dinosaur. It's really super yummy. And it has all kinds of really super awesome benefits. Like there's lots of calcium in there, just fiber, all kinds of other really super awesome good stuff for you. Okay, so my lacto kale and my onions are done cooking. So what I have done, here's my crust, and it's cooled off a little bit. So the order that you do this is really important. The reason why you want to put your cheese down at the bottom, and this is a half of a cup of cheese, is because that kind of seals it in. So you're just going to put a half a cup of cheese, and you can grate your cheese. I just roughly chop it. So I'm like, whatever. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my delicious greens on top of this, okay? And I guess you guys could see that way. Yeah, yay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait just a minute because those are kind of hot. And I don't want to pour the egg mixture onto hot greens because then it's going to get all weird. So I'll be back when they cool off. So my greens have cooled off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my egg and milk mixture. And I'm just going to very gently pour that over top. And you want to make sure that you don't just dump it all in one place. You want to kind of twirl it all around there so it kind of covers the whole entire thing. And voila. Then I have some tomatoes that I've already cut in half. And you can see I'm just going to lay them very nicely on top. I put a little olive oil and a little sea salt on top of them so that they have a little bit more flavor. And you can arrange them in a pretty little semicircle or whatever circle that you want. And it will look really super pretty because they will not sink actually since you have your greens there. And look how pretty that is, OMG. Okay, so here we go. Almost done. Let's make it a little bit closer there. All right, and mind you, my oven now is at 350. That was another reason why we had to wait a little bit. And let's just make this really nice and pretty. Oh, he looks really pretty. He's gonna be happy quiche in somebody's tummy. My tummy. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it into the oven at 350 for about 25 to 30 minutes. And you're going to see it. It's going to look lovely. So in the oven it goes. Oh, yummy. Remember, 25 or 30 minutes. So, hi guys. I want to point out something really important. And you can see I have a bunch of dishes back there while I'm waiting for my stuff to cook. My quiche that has the lacto kale. Kale yeah. But what this is called is KOGO. So it means clean as you go. And it's really important because you could be the best cook in the world or the best chef in the world even, but guess what? If you don't clean, that's just gross. So clean, remember, Kogo. Kale yeah. Okay, so my quiche has been in the oven for about 30 minutes and it smells absolutely insanely awesome. So I'm going to take it out of the oven, and the way you're going to tell if it's done is you're going to stick a knife in it, pull it out, and if it's clear, it's done. I'll show you in just a minute. You can see this looks absolutely lovely, right? Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to stick a knife in the middle, and it still comes out wet. So I'm going to let it go for about 5 more minutes, maybe 10 more minutes, okay? Just be careful and don't burn yourself in the process of putting it back in the oven. Okay, so you don't want to put it in for too long at any given time because you don't want eggs to overcook because then they're really, really gross. So we're just gonna wait 5 minutes for our lacto, kale, onion, spicy, chili, cheese, brown rice quiche. Wow, that's a lot of words, but it's gonna be so good. So you might be wondering what would go very well with this quiche. How about a mimosa? And you can find how to wake, oh God, the dinosaurs had it all right with this lacto kale thing. Like they just ate it. I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. Actually, I'm not really waiting that long. It's only 5 minutes, but still. It's a long time to wait for my lacto kale quiche. So I think my lacto kale quiche is ready. I'm gonna take it out of the oven. Whoa. Oh, it looks yummy. So here it is. Voila. And you can see it looks beautiful. I'm gonna let that cool. Now never ever cut a quiche while it's hot, because if you cut a quiche while it's hot, it's just not gonna work and will fall apart. So you let it cool at the very least like 10 minutes, but preferably about a half an hour to an hour. So let it cool and then you can cut it. And then the great thing about that, after you cut it, you can freeze it. You can do all kinds of things with it. I love to take it for lunch at work. So it's really a fantastic lunch. This will get me at least 8 lunches, which is really super awesome because it means that I've saved a lot of money. Hey, love that. I'm like a dinosaur. Lacto. Okay, so anyway, sorry, just got a little carried away with this lacto kale thing. I'm just feeling strong, like lacto.